Okay, let's unpack this. We're going to talk about something you experience literally every single day.
Hmm.
Something that completely dictates how you feel about a movie, a show, a video game.
But you probably never really think about it.
Exactly. We're talking about sound design.
It's sort of the hidden hero of all media, isn't it?
It really is.
I mean, think about it. When you watch something really immersive, your brain is processing the picture and the sound equally.
But the picture gets all the credit.
Right. The whole point, the mission of professional sound design is to create and manipulate every single audio element you hear.
So the digital world just feels real.
Entirely real.
And we're not just talking about, dropping in some music or a generic door slam sound effect.
No, not at all. It's about crafting the entire acoustic feel of a project.
To do that, a sound designer has to be, incredibly observant.
Oh, absolutely. They have to listen to the world around them constantly. They're noting exactly how a specific thing sounds in a specific space.
That sounds like a really unique job.
It is. It requires this combination of skills. You have to be a technical expert, someone who understands physics, the software.
But also a creative.
A creative visionary, yeah. Your job is to work with the director to make sure the sounds don't just happen. They have to actively support the story.
And influence how the audience feels.
That's the key.
So that means they're managing these massive, complex layers of audio all at the same time.
Dozens of them.
They've got to make sure spoken dialogue is perfectly clear, that background noises are enhancing the scene without being a distraction.
And that the music hits at the exact right moment.
They're obsessive about the little things then.
The tiniest details. We're talking about the scrape of a chair, the sizzle of rain on a window.
So where do they get all these sounds?
It's a mix. They use a combination of original sounds they recorded themselves out in the field.
Like a specific car engine or something.
Exactly. And sounds they pull from these enormous, commercially available digital libraries.
Wait, so if they have these huge digital libraries, is there ever, a debate about whether it's better to record your own sound versus just using a pre-made one?
That's a great question. And yeah, there's a professional divide there.
Right.
Sure, libraries are fast, they're convenient. But if every designer uses the same default dog barking sound...
The project loses its uniqueness.
Precisely. A truly skilled designer will go out and capture original sounds specific to that project. It gives it a sonic signature that no one else has.
Okay, so that's the art. Let's get into the science of it.
Right.
If you're serious about this, you have to understand how we actually measure sound.
There are two fundamental metrics that dictate everything we hear in media.
And those are?
Frequency, which is basically the pitch we hear, and decibels, which is about loudness or intensity.
Let's start with frequency.
Okay, so frequency is all about vibration. It's how fast a sound wave is moving back and forth.
And that speed determines the pitch.
Exactly. We measure it in a unit called hertz or hertz.
So if I'm picturing a guitar string, a really fast vibration, say thousands of times a second.
That's a high-frequency sound. It gives you a high pitch. Think of a tiny bell ringing or a whistle.
And the opposite would be a slow vibration.
Right. If that string vibrates slowly, maybe 50 times per second, that's a low-frequency sound. That gives you those deep, rumbling pitches.
A great drum.
Or distant thunder, yeah. And the sound designer has to master that whole range. Humans can generally hear from around 20 hertz.
Which is that deep bass you more or less feel.
Do you feel it? Yeah. All the way up to 20,000 hertz.
And getting that balance right is everything.
It is. If a designer mixes a track with way too much high-frequency sound, the audio can get really sharp, even harsh to listen to.
And if there's too much low frequency, it just turns into mud.
It becomes muddy and indistinct. You lose all the clarity.
Okay, so that's pitch. What about loudness?
That brings us to intensity. Decibels, or dB.
Right.
Decibels are the units we use to measure how powerful or, loud a sound is. It's a huge logarithmic scale.
What does that mean, logarithmic?
It means the numbers go up exponentially, not in a straight line.
Can you give me a real-world example?
Sure. A quiet whisper is around 30 dB. A normal conversation is about 60 dB.
Okay.
But here's the thing. Every time you increase the level by 10 decibels, the sound power roughly doubles. So a loud rock concert at 110 dB is dramatically more powerful than a conversation.
So for a designer, just watching those levels is critical.
It's everything. Because if the sound goes past a certain point, what we call hitting the red in the software,
It distorts. You get that horrible fuzzy sound.
and your professional quality is just gone. Instantly.
So mixing is basically the process of adjusting all those decibel levels.
Painstakingly, you're adjusting dozens of individual tracks, dialogue, music, ambience to make sure they all harmonize and stay at a comfortable volume for the audience.
Okay, so we've got the science, but how do designers get that layer of realistic texture, especially when the microphones on set can't capture all the little details?
This is where we get into what I call the sound designer's role as the actor.
Oh,
And this is where we introduce Foley.
named after Jack Foley, the sound effects artist.
The very same. It's the art of creating all those everyday sound effects. Footsteps, the clink of silverware, clothes rustling.
But they're added after filming is done in post-production.
Exactly.
So why can't the microphones on set just pick all that up naturally?
Because movie sets are kind of chaotic.
Right.
You have huge camera crews, lighting equipment humming, and the actors are focused on their performance, not on their footsteps. The mics are set up to get clean dialogue above all else.
So all those subtle sounds just get lost or drowned out
Totally, which is where the Foley artist comes in.
in a studio.
In a soundproof studio, using a whole range of physical objects to perfectly mimic the actions on screen.
I've heard they use, coconut shells for horse hooves?
That's the classic example. Or they'll have a special pit filled with gravel and different surfaces to match the exact sound of a character walking across a street.
It's a performance.
It really is a performance art. It requires incredible timing. And the thing is, great Foley is the sound you don't even consciously notice.
It just makes the world feel right.
It adds that critical layer of realism and texture seamlessly.
And speaking of realism, beyond specific actions, there's that continuous background sound.
Ambience.
Ambience is what defines the location. It's the wind and the birds in a forest, or the hum of an air conditioner in an office.
Or traffic and sirens in a city.
Right. And that layer is crucial because it tells the audience exactly where the characters are without anyone having to say a word.
That makes perfect sense. But what about the moments when no one's talking? If it was just pure silence, the scene would feel awkward, dead.
And that is where room tone comes in.
Room tone.
Yeah. Every single room has its own unique sonic fingerprint. A low hum from the vents, the sound of the lights, something.
I see.
So sound designers always record a few seconds of this silence, this room tone, in every location. They use that recording to fill the gaps between lines of dialogue.
So the background never completely disappears. And the scene doesn't feel uncomfortably artificial.
That's amazing. So the professional move is to record silence to prove that silence isn't actually silent.
That's a great way to put it.
Okay, so now let's move to the control center, where all this science and art comes together.
The Digital Audio Workstation, or DAW.
This is the main software tool for all professional editing, right?
It's everything. And the fascinating part is that it lets you see the sound waves visually on a computer screen.
It's the control board for the entire production.
Absolutely. Inside the DAW, a designer can cut, move, and stretch audio clips to fit the video timing down to the millisecond.
And they can layer tons of tracks.
Dozens, sometimes hundreds, of separate tracks. All the dialogue, the music, the Foley, the ambience, all of it creating that complex soundscape.
And the flexibility is basically limitless.
It is. Because it's all digital, you can make an adjustment, save it, and then instantly undo it to try something completely different. There's no fear of destroying the original recording.
Okay, so if you're just starting out, maybe recording your own audio, where does quality begin?
It begins with the capture process. You have to choose a quiet room, one with minimal echo to get the cleanest signal.
And use some technical tools, like a pop filter.
Definitely. That's the little screen you put in front of the mic to stop those harsh bursts of air, the plosives, when you say a P or a B.
And you have to wear headphones while you record.
Always.
Yeah.
That's the only way to monitor the exact signal the computer is getting. You'll immediately hear if the mic is distorting or if there's a background noise you missed.
And remember that pro tip. Record a few seconds of that silence, that room tone at the start.
Once you have your clean audio, you start placing it in space using panning.
Panning. That's distributing the sound between the left and right speakers.
In a stereo or surround sound system, yeah.
This creates a sense of direction. So if a spaceship flies across the screen from left to right,
The sound has to follow that exact path across your speakers. It has to match the visual perfectly. It's vital in video games, too.
for locating enemies or things happening off screen.
Exactly. And it also has a technical purpose. By panning different things, like two characters talking on opposite sides of the screen, you separate them sonically.
So they don't clash in the middle. It gives the mix a wider, more interesting feel.
Yeah, a wider soundstage.
Okay, next tool. The sonic scissors. Equalization or EQ.
EQ is a powerful tool. It lets the designer adjust the balance of those frequencies we talked about earlier, the highs, mids, and lows.
And its main job is cleaning things up.
Refinement and cleaning, yeah. It lets you surgically remove unwanted noises, like a low-frequency hum from an air conditioner or a high-pitched hiss from some electronics.
So you boost the good frequencies and cut the bad ones.
That's the idea. For instance, if a voice sounds really boomy or muffled, the designer might cut the very low frequencies.
And if it needs more crispness.
They might boost the high frequencies. It's all about helping different sounds, the bass, the dialogue, the music, sit together nicely without fighting for the same sonic space.
After cleaning and balancing, you create the sense of space.
With reverb and echo, reverb simulates sound bouncing off walls. It gives you an instant sense of the room's size and what it's made of.
So a small padded closet would have almost no reverb.
Right. But a massive stone cathedral will have that long, beautiful reverb tail.
An echo is different. It's the distinct repetition.
Like shouting into a canyon, where you hear the sound repeat clearly.
These effects add depth and emotion, but I'm guessing you have to be careful.
Very precise. Too much reverb or echo, and the most important thing, the dialogue can become impossible to understand.
Finally, we get to the really creative part that kind of defines a sound designer's style.
Synthesis and manipulation. This is where they become the wizard.
Let's start with synthesis.
Synthesis is creating entirely new sounds from scratch, from pure nothingness, using software.
And this is critical for sci-fi.
Absolutely. You need to generate the noises of spaceships, futuristic weapons, alien worlds, things that have no real-world equivalent.
And manipulation.
That's changing existing sound. This is where the real magic happens.
So you could take a simple recording, like a rubber band twanging,
and process it digitally. Change its pitch, reverse it, stretch it, add effects, and transform it into something completely new and terrifying.
like the snap of a monster's jaw, or the classic cat purr turned into a monster growl.
That's the perfect example. That level of experimentation is what allows a designer to turn basic recordings into a professional, engaging, and signature sound that audiences will never forget.
Even if they never notice where it came from.
Exactly.
So what does this all boil down to for you? Sound design is not just background noise.
Not at all.
It's using this rigorous technical science, hertz, decibels, EQ, and combining it with pure artistic creativity, Foley, ambience, synthesis.
To make a digital world feel completely real and immersive, in a way that visuals alone just can't.
So understanding these concepts means you won't just hear media anymore.
You'll start listening. You'll start noticing the deliberate power of every single sound and how much complex work goes into guiding your experience.
The next time you watch a tense scene, maybe close your eyes for a second.
And just listen to the layers. You'll be amazed at the world the designer built just for your ears.
Good luck with your studies.